planets and shit.
Yeah,
Tenets.
shit just flying and going. You got to duck a note like a B flat. Like, hey man, hey, yo man,
Hey
it was
man,
just like at that
that
point
wasn't
in
it, bro.
time, like
That wasn't
man, what
it.
the hell?
It wasn't it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good to be back. Objectivity never has a greater Phoenix metaphor been personified in human history. Therefore, if I'm saying anything, is welcome back. It's Dark Expo.
Tony told us, "Welcome back to the Theory Expo." So I think we just gonna get straight to it. We looking at the big event that just happened, Multiverse, Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness.
Yep,
I saw it 3 p.m. Eastern. You said you saw it a second time.
I'm already on my second.
So you got
saw it. Yeah, you saw it 3 p.m. Eastern. I saw it. But I'm Central, so I saw it 8:10 Central Time. Yeah, 8:10 Central Time. I saw it last night, and then I saw it again today at 6 p.m.
Oh, so you fresh. You fresher than I am.
I'm fresh off of it, yeah. I'm about 4 hours, 5 hours removed from it.
So let's get started on this. Let's get your initial kind of thoughts and reaction, right? Like more than just a recap. I mean, we could go anywhere and just go like not recap, but we can go through
reaction,
like step by step. Like no, it's so this you go see the movie, but like so you walked out of it feeling. First of all, when you walked out of it, how did you feel? Pause.
Okay, so the first time I walked out of it, I sort of felt like, man, like damn, that was a ride. You know what I mean? Like that shit. It was like a roller coaster ride, literally.
Okay.
You know, you get off a ride, you be like, this shit was fun, but it was over quick.
Yeah.
But I can't lie. My initial feeling getting out of there was a little bit of disappointment, just because expectations. If you going in with, are we going straight into spoilers?
Are we going in? I already put spoiler in the title.
All right, you already put that in there.
So,
so I know Sam Raimi movies, Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, and the original Spider-Man movies. But if you going in, I walked out feeling like I remember I said this. I was like, this is the MCU version of the Final Destination.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm like, this is a horror movie. This is a horror movie in an MCU form, all the way down to the stupid decisions by characters in horror movies. Characters in horror movies make dumb decisions, right?
Facts. And
that's cool because that's okay. You can understand that in horror movies because usually in horror movies it's teenagers, right? Yep. It's just regular people, and when regular people when they're afraid, when they're scared, when they're panicking, they do dumb things. So I can understand that. The problem with that is these are supposed to be genius level intellect characters, right?
Who've gone through this type of stuff.
Who've encountered Thanos.
Yes.
And in this case, in multiple universes, who've encountered threats to the entire multiverse, who've seen all types of things come through the multiverse, who understand the dangers of the multiverse, but yet for some reason they're transformed into horror movie characters, and they got horror movie character traits.
I didn't even think of that. That's
you
got that. Yeah.
So again, if you're going in with certain expectations, if you're going in thinking that you're going to see a MCU movie and you expect MCU characters to behave the way that MCU characters behave, it's sort of different. It's more Raimi like really made this a horror movie, and he made the characters react like horror movie characters.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's kind of a different angle, but but I really enjoyed some of the cinematography. I didn't really one thing I'll go into my likes first. I enjoyed a lot of the scenes, the set pieces, the action scenes, the fighting scenes, I should say. Wanda really, man, Elizabeth Olsen. Yo, Elizabeth Olsen, bro.
She in her shit right now, right?
Bro, there's nobody. She got to be at the top, man. Like as far as like just mastering her character, man. That is her character.
That's the range. Range. Remember we had our conversation, not to overtalk. We had everything's a ranking.
Yeah.
Like no one can be Robert Downey Jr. with Tony Stark, but if somebody can sniff in the MCU, to me, it's her.
It's
what she's done with this character.
I'm with you, bro.
And before you go, a point I didn't want to drop. What you were saying about the cinematography.
Yeah,
that shit probably is dope in 3D.
This is a movie you need to see.
I need to see that in 3D.
I might have to go back for a third viewing because I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance for IMAX, which I really wish I would have. If I'm probably gonna go back for IMAX.
Okay.
Because did you get the IMAX?
I did not, because I just went and saw it the one time.
Okay, I got you. Nah. Yeah, this movie seems like it's going to benefit from IMAX, from 3D.
Yeah,
it's a lot of things being thrown at the screen. It's a lot of like shots where they going into people's eyeballs. That's why I call it Final Destination. It's a lot of, you know what I mean? It's a lot of those, you know what I mean? Like the shield coming at you, the glass coming at shards, rocks. It's like everything is constantly being thrown at you, at the stage, at the screen. So, a lot of. Yeah, this movie definitely, if it's one MCU movie to see in 3D, is this one. But yeah, back to my likes. I like those scenes. I like some of the fight scenes. I enjoy Wanda, man. Wanda is really what like I said, I take away from the movie is a very compelling villain for the most part. When I get into my likes, I explain, but my dislikes, but as far as I thought she was I really like the interaction between her and Steve. Not her and Steve, her and Strange. Her and Strange going back and forth, and just sort of how the characters were reacting to her, and just her. This is her movie, man. You know what I mean? Like
I was gonna title this.
Yeah.
When we started the show, I was gonna say previously on WandaVision. You know what I'm saying? Like remember that noise,
this is the continuation of WandaVision. This is part 2 of WandaVision, man. This is the continuation. I want to say again, we spoke in previous videos about the House of M and how the House of M could be the next step. But honestly, man, it's like we already there. You know what I mean? Like this is the House of M. You know what I mean? She is just wrecking people, man. They got straight to it. Like she shows up, Steve. I keep calling him Steve.
Yeah, he's Stephen Strange.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, the other Stephen kind of.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah. So Steve talking to her like, Strange talking to her like, he talking to her. He's like really nice to her. You know what I mean? He's like he's almost trying to cheer her up and you in the audience, you watching it, you like, okay, yeah, man, he gonna bring her back. He gonna give her the pep talk. He gonna talk her back, man. He gonna talk her, she's gonna get her back in the game. You know what I mean? Everything going the way that we sort of thought it was gonna go up until like that moment where
it was quick.
She let it flip. The heel turn from Wanda, the heel turn that she make. She like, all right, let me just quit playing with you. I'm the villain. Bring the little girl here, or you know what I mean, giving him ultimatums right off the bat, and he already knew. He's just looking at her like, man, you a problem. He's
100% not prepared for that.
He's just like
that was the last thing he thought.
To the point where he couldn't even follow her no more. He just stopped. Like, man, are you serious? How you know her name? You know what I mean? Because she bring America here, and and he's just standing there.
Never said her name or something like that.
Her name, Wanda. How do you, Wanda? She like, yeah, I want my kids back. He like, Wanda, your kids was never there. But
And that's like a deep comic cut right there, right? That's him telling her like was it in Disassembled or House of M where he was like, your kids never existed. Or whatever his line, whatever he said was there was like the same line I think he used in the comic run.
But that's about Wanda. That's about it for my likes. Just my initial reactions as far as my dislikes was man, the pacing I felt like was like really, I had a lot of issues with the pacing, man. It was I was kind of like wondering like, man, how did we get here? You know what I mean? Boom, you know what I mean? Like even with Wanda, it's like boom. Oh, she the villain. Okay.
We just said it.
Yeah, we
there.
Okay.
I'm not gonna have no steps to lead up.
Yeah, y'all not even gonna try to like okay, misdirect us or anything. Oh no, she's the villain. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a little bit outside of the formula. But it was it was moving really fast, man. It was like no moments where you can like really sit back and just cherish what was going on, what was in front of you. All these things coming at you, all these characters you see in this that we finally get to see, like, you know what I mean, like the big reveal. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, he come out.
My bad, I just showed my hand, but go ahead. I showed my hand. Go ahead.
Yeah. And you just all right, and we, like I said, we'll get into the breakdown, like the recap when you say your initial reactions, but just seeing these characters on screen, man, and I didn't really like the costumes, man. I don't know what it was. It was just like the way
talking about when we got to just him all together, like
I'm talking about all the costumes. Outside of Strange and Wanda, like I felt like their costumes were pretty much familiar, but it's just I don't know, man. It was weird. Like
look. That's a good point. Like
it wasn't as crispy, man.
It was so bad that I'm going to ask you, and we're gonna really talk about it. But I was like, okay, because when Krasinski showed up, the crowd went crazy. Like in the theater I was at, and it was like one word in, it was like, damn, did they miscast this dude?
Yeah.
Did they actually get the wrong dude? To like, I know everybody.
It took me the second viewing for me to be like, okay, yeah. Because the first time, the first time I was like, ooh, like he didn't slap, like he didn't.
Yeah, didn't do what it was supposed to do. Agent Carter didn't do what it was supposed to do. Like,
right. I'm like,
when she showed up, I'm like, did they, like them old soccer jerseys were like, you see Man United from like the 90s, the jersey was baggy. It was like, I mean, you could have, I ain't trying to be pervy, show her off a little bit. Like she got Black Bolt. I was like,
Bolt didn't slap, I'm just like, he was just forgettable. Like, you know what I mean? That was
super forgettable.
That's the same guy from the show.
Was it?
It was Anson Mount. Yeah, the dude from Star Trek.
I never got involved, so I probably would have had an attachment. Had I watched the show, had I watched the show, I probably would have had. I did not know that.
I didn't watch the show. I watched like maybe.
I didn't even pay. I don't know why. It was like a great run because I was all involved with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
and they had a great run between like the season ending and then the anticipation for the next season, but they delayed it to do the Inhumans. So I was just like, man, that's when I was really involved with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think even the next season, not to change the topic, like fast forward, I think the next season, it might have been the next season that the previous seasons were actually when they had their own version of the Darkhold, and they had Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
I believe that was happening.
Bring him back too.
They had Ghost Rider, and they had the Darkhold. Yeah, it was Reyes, right?
Reyes,
yeah, it was they Ghost Rider. They had Darkhold, and then they had a nice little cliffhanger at the end that led, and then so I never got. I was like, man, bring the Shield back. So I never got involved with that. That's a long way to say I never got involved with the Inhumans. I had no connection when I saw
you and a lot of people because that's why I didn't stick around.
It was only a couple episodes.
Yeah, they literally made it into like a little movie, but man, I wasn't feeling like the costumes, man. It was just weird, man, and I couldn't really wrap my my head around it. I was like, is it because it's the multiverse? Is because it's a different universe? It's I think they called this one 818 or whatever.
Yeah, they definitely was 818.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, are they trying to go out of their way to change the cut? And it's like Professor X shows up. I'm like, that clearly that's he's inspired by X-Men 97. So it's like, okay, but man, all that shit we talked about, the way that Wanda just wiped through the Illuminati is the way she wiped through like these theories, bro. She mopped the floor with my theories, bro. She mopped the floor with my theories. I'm like,
she mopped every theory, bro.
Nigga, when she got on yo, bro, and I know I'm getting into the recap, but
no, we just going.
But yeah, man, the way that she just it was so fast, man. Illuminati, like, hey, we're the Illuminati. All right, bye. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't save, like, even on the second watch, you couldn't savor that moment. Like, oh shit, Carter, that's Carter, that's Agent. You know what I mean? That's Captain Carter in live action. That's all Black Bolt is on. This is first time ever looking like that. On the show, he didn't wear the mask. Reed Richards, John Krasinski, the fan's choice on screen, first time. He just kind of like drop in there only to be taken out super quick. Thought the costume was garbage. It was just weird, man. I couldn't like, that was so quick, bro. It was like, and it would have made sense had they been like I don't know. It's just even the moments where they was jumping through the universes and you sort of just you knew where they were going with America Chavez. I was like, oh, okay, she's gonna figure out this power by the end because
that's just how it always works.
That's how it worked with
in a pivotal moment.
Yeah. So it's like,
and they delayed that, bro. Man.
It was kind of going on at the end, man. But
it was going on.
Wanda cannot be stopped, and I'm like, don't play with me. You know what I mean? She is the villain. Don't do this. Oh, she gonna do the right thing. Shit, don't do that. She's the villain. But like I said, man, it was a little bit of disappointment on my part, man. If you're asking me, just on those things, man. Just the visuals, the aesthetic of it all, man. Of the Illuminati and in that universe that they spent most of the time in 818, and then the transition to that next universe where they met Strange Supreme or whatever. No, not Strange Supreme. Whatever they call him. Sinister Strange. Sorry. It's like, it was like, man, but yeah, I was disappointed, man. I was a little disappointed. I wasn't really expecting like a straight up horror movie like that. And even though I knew it was gonna be some horror elements in there, being from Raimi and even the original director who they fired,
he wanted
a straight up horror movie, and he's a Hellraiser guy.
You might have been like R horror.
Yeah, he wanted to do like some hardcore stuff. So and Raimi never really Raimi's more about like he's not like a super horror director. He is a horror director, but he don't do like over the top gore. He just do like creepy shit. Like he'll throw a bunch of stuff in there, but I definitely knew it was a Raimi movie from the beginning, man. But again, I'm cool with the horror elements. I just didn't really. It didn't make sense to me that the characters started acting dumb. You got Christine in there trying to break the this glass that they got
them
in.
What the fuck was my French?
Yeah,
what the hell was that?
Bro, what was that? Because it's like, why are you trying to?
You just told that. You knew that shit wasn't gonna happen. She was doing all that shit, and Strange he was doing his shit. None of that shit was working.
It's like, what are you doing? And they just they sitting there, they waiting on Wanda to break. Yeah, I'm like, why are the characters dumb now? This is a genius.
I didn't think about that. It was definitely horror film element level.
It was like, why if you're gonna do that, you can't suddenly turn to
my bad. My bad. No. I'm gonna say there's no way that Christine should have been that scared. Considering all she had been through leading up to that point.
Yeah.
Get what I'm saying? They got a statue talking about Strange took his life, even though it was a lie. Took his life, going against Thanos. Y'all went through all that, so you should not have been that scared to be putting a fire extinguisher against you. Don't you think Strange would have got out of that if it was easy enough to break through with a fire, even with his shit? You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
He would have got out of that.
I'm
Little girl
why
would have
the
got out of that.
Stupid. And then they sitting
You're
there,
right.
waiting on
Wanda.
Think
about that.
They like waiting on Wanda to break through the door, and it's like the characters
even the Illuminati part where they one by one let Wanda take them out. So that was definitely a lot of like they was all just standing there.
There was no plan. Like
they was all they seen Reed catch his boy. They seen Thunderbolt, not about Black Bolt catch what he was gonna catch, right? They saw all that and they just standing there before Marvel and Captain Carter got to doing their thing, but it was all one-on-one. But I know they do that in movies, but that it was really like you said, that was really a scary movie kind of thing where they were just like, okay, I just saw a man's head blow up. I just saw Reed get popped like a balloon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I might as well do something. But like you say, the choices was really because that's what they would do in a horror flick. Something like that.
He forgot that it was a superhero movie. And
like Halloween or something when they go against Michael Myers and they got a bunch of people with bats and guns and axing and they ready to go against Michael, but they go against his ass one-on-one.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's why I walked out. We talking about initial reactions, man. I kind of walked out like, man, what the did I just watch, man?
I'm glad you went first.
Yeah.
My bad. I mean to cut you.
But go ahead though. What did you how was you feeling?
I'm glad you went first. Because I was gonna come in super. You made me not as negative as I was.
Yeah.
Because I walked out underwhelmed. This ain't even about the theories.
Yes.
Right? This ain't even about the theories. Because you're gonna do that. Like we had theories. We hadn't had a show yet, but we had theories going into Batman. We had theories. Yep. We do theories on everything, right?
Yeah.
So it ain't about what they say. Want your expectation to become. Your speculation become the expectation, right? Where like you do all this, Shang-Chi gonna show up and then get mad when Shang-Chi don't show up, right? I should have had my expectations kind of measured when I saw when Feige was like, he was mad that they showed so much in the trailer because the trailers were the movie.
Yeah, it was.
So I should have been like, oh, okay, because the trailers were the movie, which is not an MCU thing, right? Where usually they have a trailer. The trailers they hide so much in the trailers where you get, when you get to the movie, like, because even a plot element. But I went in there and I was like, okay, cool. And then like they got to the money straight, like you said, you couldn't even breathe. Christine got a brother, right? Like. She walking through. She done met a brother. She done met a killer over the time.
During the blip, right? It was like it must have been her and a brother in the apartment. You know what I mean?
He pulled
the only one in the complex. He got her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And even like when my man in the beginning, the other doctor told him like, but I was like, damn, because we had our show, so it was like we was calling things out about Strange making mistakes, and when that other doctor from Doctor Strange 1. Talking about, I lost my brother, I lost my cats, and I lost my brother. And he was like, but did it have to happen that way? I was like, he still got to answer. Yep. He still got to answer. I'm like, okay, we getting to it.
Ain't it crazy? My bad, but ain't it crazy how many normal people just know the details and the intricacies? How they saved the world. You know what I mean? It's like
they haven't really told that story. Like that's a whole story within the story. How we got to, like you say, whether it was Hawkeye with the whole watch, the Avengers Tower and the watch thing, and it was affected by the blip. Or when we got to the point of Falcon Winter Soldier, when they was like, that's not really government's property when it came to the shield, right? Or even knowing like he was responsible. Like it was a lot of things. Hawkeye being responsible for Black Widow's death. Wow. There was a lot. Like you say, there's a lot of untold stories about who know what in terms of what happened between the blip and then ultimately defeating Thanos.
Go ahead.
Back to Strange, like you say, it got to it. It got to it, right? And then, we started, they started getting to the America Chavez. And the one thing I didn't like about that threw me off just looking at the whole movie was that they didn't really use her as a multiverse tool. They just use her as an explanation.
Plot
right?
Device.
Yeah. But she was all only thing she was doing it was giving a reason for Strange and the Black and Scarlet Witch to go at each other.
That's it.
Because they didn't really do anything. So I'm like, okay, they just traveled through the multiverse one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You get what I'm saying? Like that one thing they did that took them to that other Earth.
Yeah.
So really, like, and I understand they told us she didn't really
count
know
on
how
one
to
hand
control
how
her
many,
powers. But they didn't really. So it was really just an ultimate battle for her power, so that Wanda can do something that she can almost sleepwalk to go do, right?
Yeah, she could have. Nah, that's a good point.
But you know, so it was just like,
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So it just wasn't. So they was doing that. Okay, cool. But like, and then we got to the part, like you say, it was. Then you got to that middle part, and then that's when I really dropped. Once we got the Mortal, right? Universal Mortal, which was he became a complete waste.
You was right about that. You called that though, that it wasn't him. You're right.
It wasn't him. It was a complete waste of Mortal, right?
It was like why?
It was a complete waste. Like
he didn't do nothing. Yeah,
he didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything. He just introduced him to the.
It was when I saw Krasinski, and then he just like the whole. I felt the other. That's why I'm gonna go see it again because I felt when I saw Illuminati and I saw what happened, I was madder about that than I was about the boner joke pause.
Yeah.
Like you dangled that in front of me.
Yeah. That hurt, man. Like
so that wasn't a real Illuminati. And I guess I should have known that when it was like, well, that we know we created this for this 818 Earth. Like they had Earth 818.
Yeah.
And this was a council, basically a council for that Earth. It wasn't a real Illuminati, right?
Yeah. And then they Strange joked about the whole thing too. It's like he telling jokes the whole time.
Y'all don't get it. We can handle the Scarlet Witch. We was like, no, y'all don't get it. She about to come ahead and wreck shit. Yes. Like she is too powerful.
Too fucking powerful. OP.
Like Strange was scared.
Strange was shook. Whole movie.
Even Strange was scared.
When him and Chavez got through that first portal, he was like, there's no way I can even if I could get back, I can't fight Wanda. It's like, damn.
Like he knew.
Shook.
Like you watching the movie, and it did take away me thinking about stuff because it was like I actually don't know how they're gonna stop her. Like it's gonna be her having. My theory was that they were gonna use. I didn't think Wanda was gonna be the ending big bad. Yeah. I thought there was gonna be Strange that he was gonna have to go against him because the way the only threat to this universe has always been you, right? That's they threw that line out.
And they was saying that because of incursions. They wasn't.
And they dangled that in front of us because now we get into Secret Wars and stuff. So it's like at least y'all gave us that, right?
Yeah, they did.
We know that's coming. They dangled that
coming. they better leave them goddamn. It better not be shit like 818, boy. Don't give me. Y'all better do something about Reed Richards. You better be better than that.
Yeah, it was just I guess I couldn't after the Illuminati. I really couldn't get to appreciating anything else in the rest of the movie, right? Like I was defeated after once Black Bolt head blew up. I was like, they about to sun Reed Richards because this is. I'm like, so Reed about to do his thing. Yeah, I got a family. It just didn't feel right. It was like, yo, he is like people wanted him, but it was like he wasn't it.
Nah, he wasn't.
You get what I'm saying? He wasn't.
I hope that don't hurt him because
that was my theory about the I had seen a picture of that.
Yeah.
Right? So I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So one of my theories from last week was the reason why the previous episode we did before I went to the movies was that the reason why the director had left was because he was going to be that Krasinski was probably going to be Reed Richards and he was going to get to direct the movie. Mm-hmm. So the guy they had Watts, that's why he was like, Watts, I got to get some rest. I got to take care of my mental. Yeah, he was like, I'm tired. I've done all these movies and this, that, and the third, but it was like I need some rest. Then it was like
I don't like the Spider-Mans, by the way, but
yeah, I need some rest. So it was like okay, cool, but it was like they had secured Reed, right? I mean, secured Krasinski, and for him to do it, he probably was going to direct the movie too. He probably got all in one kind of deal.
Can't knock the hustle. I get it,
100%. Yeah. So it was just like I not to just bad, but I walked out underwhelmed because it was like it wasn't really a multiverse movie. Nah. Yeah, they traveled to something else, right? But it wasn't really. It really only showed us her capabilities the one time, and then at the last minute where she could, she tried to, hey Wanda, I'm gonna give you what you want, kind of moment, and then Wanda. So she basically, one of my theories was that another Wanda was going to have to beat Wanda. Like they weren't gonna be able to get nobody else, and they just she got to see herself in a reflection about how she was looking in front of her kids and all that, and that's ultimately what won the day, saved the day for that, right? But yeah, I just walked in. I didn't. Like you say, Wong as a Sorcerer Supreme, he just like, what's her name? The Ancient One, she was dope. Like she was on top of her shit. Hey man, Wong, what you been doing? You been reading?
Yeah,
you just gonna give up? You just gonna give up the mountain that easy? Like you say,
man, because you that attached.
The what you call it? The scary movie, kind of element to it makes sense. Like why he would do something that stupid that easy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take you to the mountain.
That's like right. I mean, it's like right there. Because like Strange, he made it clear. Listen, like Strange didn't give the stone to Thanos to spare anybody's life, including Tony Stark. He gave it to him because he's like, all right, I see what's gonna happen, so I'm just gonna give you the stone. He didn't necessarily do it because he was like, oh no. He did it to spare his life, but he didn't do it out of like, oh, that's my friend, Wong sat there, students or whatever, being tortured, and was just like, all right, I give it to you. Like, Wong, bro, it's more at risk. It's stuff at risk here, man. You can't just. The multiverse is at risk.
The multiverse is at risk.
You're not gonna let them die.
Like Strange had got to the point where, like you said, in Infinity War, he had the answers to the test, and probably when Thanos did what he was going to do, that was his confirmation. Like, oh, okay, this really is the one, right? This is happened exactly in the one we won, the 14 million possible scenarios I saw. What I'm seeing right now, this was the one, and what's happening is exact course of events. Okay, you can have the stone. Like we say, it wasn't to save any of them.
Nah,
it was like confirmation that this really is the one. So let's
give up the stone now. Yeah, I'm gonna get dusted because I know eventually we come back and that guy sacrifices himself and we win this thing.
Yeah,
fine, but he didn't have intentions on saving anybody's life. It was all about protecting the stone. But yeah, that was you're right. You give up. That's a good point, man. Wong. So,
he just didn't seem proper. You don't seem proper to be and he made it through the movie as such. He still made it through, right? And then even the best parts of the movie was Strange versus Wanda, right? Strange versus Wanda.
Yeah. Because they was going at it.
Yeah,
it was more just him running from Wanda, but
him just running from Wanda. Wanda calling Strange out on his bullshit, like, you read the dark hole, hypocrite. Like calling him out on his thing. When they got to the part where Strange showed up and him and Sinister about to go at it, and I guess Sinister then wiped out more Strange, so then they start fighting, and it was a piano fight, like it was notes and shit.
Fam,
like,
did you see that?
Y'all fucking with me, man. At this point in time, y'all just fucking with me, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, at that point, you laughing.
Hey, man, do better, man.
Do better, bro. I know, hey, man, I love Danny Elfman, man. Hey, you my guy. You know what I mean? I love all your Batman movie scores. This is for the most part, this is a great score. Yeah, but man, you ain't a part of the movie, bro.
No,
you don't get to be a part of the movie, Danny Elfman.
You don't get to do that. You
don't get to be in the movie. This nigga, he wrote himself into the movie. Like,
fuck with me, man.
Man, neat. They was fighting with notes.
Man, fucking with me, man.
Music.
Y'all just sitting there and notes flying and one catching it and do like, man, what are we doing, man? Nigga saw a harp. I was like, just doing concerto and all that, man. Like, hey, man, y'all messing with me, man.
Sonnets and shit.
Shit just flying and going. You got to duck a note like a B flat. Like, hey, man. Hey, yo, man. It was just like at that point in time, like, man, what the hell?
It wasn't it.
Yeah, man. It was just like, I just was like I say, I'm gonna go see it again. Because I want
second viewing was a little bit better.
See if I could take like the fact that maybe I walked in, but I felt like what you tell me, multiverse. Oh, it really wasn't a multiverse. It was really more of a not strange, but a WandaVision vehicle, which is perfectly fine. I mean, not WandaVision, but a Scarlet Witch vehicle, which is fine.
Yeah,
but it was just mistitled. So you title it this. I'm walking into that, right? Like, but ultimately, what it was, and I see why they took Strange out of the elements he was going to be in WandaVision, because they were trying to save that for basically this was going to be the movie version of what she became after reading the dark. And then and another thing too about the beginning, like and maybe I got a little bit of. I do got to buy because we talked about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They spent the whole season kind of building up on what the Darkhold was about. Okay. Because the Darkhold kept taking over people, right? They would read it, and when they had these great ideas and stuff they were going to do, but they were going to have to make some noise and get into that point, right? To the point where it took over an AI. They built a framework kind of they had built a framework which was like a virtual kind of universe, right? Where like when you went into it, you kind of got everything you wanted. It's almost like their version of House of M, right? Where it was like, hey, one of the guys had lost his daughter, when she was young. Mm-hmm. But when he got captured and put in the framework, his daughter was alive, and he was living to the point where he didn't want to leave, even though when they got him and told him it was fake, he was going to have to leave his daughter. Right. It was a lot of things like that where the different things that they had always wanted to be, they had it in that particular framework. And the AI had got, when she even got took over, she read it, and then she wanted to be real. So she was trying to work. She had to get them captured so that she can ultimately do like an Ultron thing. She was going to get a real body. She was going to be a real person. And that's what and she was working at that. They needed Ghost Rider to come in with his devilish ways to come and take care of that. Damn, right. They needed somebody from the so they had, but ultimately they spent the whole season getting to that point, right? Whether you like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or not, right? You had a real description. So, but for us, we went from Wanda in her astral form, reading it to the point. Then you look up, and then next time you see Wanda, she's talking about, oh yeah, I done found Gargantuan. I done found what got the rogue guy. That's a big character too, and we chasing her down. We don't even know how America knows to go to different Stranges. How does America get scared, punch through a multiverse? We didn't see any of that. So she was doing multiverse shit. She even told Strange, you like the dumbest Strange of all the Strangers I know. How many Strangers you know? Where was that?
Exactly.
That would have been nice to know that she got this information from there. You're my friend. How long was you with this other guy?
Did he train you?
What the hell we got going on here?
Were me and Christine together? Oh no, you broke up. What
none of y'all hook up. Huh? None of y'all get together. How many of us do you know that?
I've been to how many universes you been to? 73.
She says 73. This makes 73. That's my. It was like all that stuff was happening, but we only got one.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, we got one,
and we need. What was the my bad. What was the Multiverse of Madness? What was the
Multiverse of Madness?
Was it the Multiverse was Madness, or was it one of the multiverse worlds? Was that mad? Like you said, I agree. Mistitled.
I just think it was mistitled. It was mistitled. And then it gives us a different kind of like. I was definitely defeated. I'm not gonna lie. You kind of like made me not as defeated, just like because had I went first, I was gonna come in flaming, right? Yeah. And it's just a movie, right? But I walked out like, what the hell? They just tried to sell me, man. And I was like, was that me who made too much out of that? But I was like, no, they called it Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, we went from WandaVision. We had Loki.
And I'm only not as negative because of the second viewing. Yeah, I was with you. I was the exact same way. I'm like, what the fuck was that, man?
Everybody was a dumbass. And when they went to Carmitage and they was doing they got that same move. So it's really they really don't have Carmitage protected. No. This is a mystical realm, mystical place.
No protection.
You don't have no protection. So what if somebody else show up? What the hell did my man with the horns? What was he doing? What was he doing? We don't have that in the damn Earth. We don't have those creatures. Where did he come from?
He was not human. And I know he got a little background in the comics and all that, but man,
to be in this movie,
if you a normie, regular audience member, you have no clue what the fuck is going on, man. Who's this yak Was he a yak or a bull or whatever the hell he was?
What the hell?
This human
there for
this what is that? And he's talking
from
normal
world.
Yeah, is he from another universe?
Where is he from?
He from 616. That's what's crazy.
Guarding the mountain. Where are they from? They just pulled up,
and then he because he kind of like fanboy, like the yak looking dude, like, oh, that's the London sector, and you get one guy from the London sector. You got one dude who came through. Carmitage has my. Where the rest?
This is it.
Fam, the multiverse is at stake. I need all hands on deck. And if the multiverse, but that's another. Here we go. I know they always ask the same question. Where are the other Avengers? Where are the other heroes? But this the multiverse. Y'all told me it was a big deal, not me. Y'all told me it was a big deal. Where are the other heroes at? Literally, this could be Secret Wars right here. Bring in everybody. We all got to stop Wanda. That's another thing. Like you said, you was defeated halfway through after that Illuminati scene.
Oh, I was defeated.
You said you was defeated. I was like, Wanda has to die. I was like, if Wanda don't die, this is a complete sham of a movie. You gotta kill Wanda, bro. Wanda, you can't ever. First of all, there's no redeeming Wanda. None. It'll be an insult if you try to do that.
They tried a second time too in the beginning. You redeemed yourself. You didn't. Maybe he was scared. Maybe he was scared. Yeah. Maybe he was scared, like Vision had said in Civil War, like, people are afraid of you. You know what I'm saying? They have no choice but to be. Like,
I just want the world to see you as I see you.
Yeah. Come on, go ahead.
Now, hey man, but Wanda been a villain for a minute though. Wanda been a villain for
she walked in as a villain.
Wanda, think about it, bro. Wanda, how much good versus evil as Wanda did? Wanda only did a little bit of good. Other times, Wanda other times when Wanda's trying to do good, she ended up doing bad. You know what I mean? She did a little bit of good in Ultron.
A little.
You want me to, your brother can come get you. You walk out of that room, you an Avenger. We talked about that. She did some good. Man, from Civil War from Civil War on, man, she ain't been doing shit, but just bad, bro. So it's like, all right, but back to the movie. But yeah, after that Illuminati, man, after she wiped out the Illuminati like that, I was like, she gotta die. Because I felt like, by the end, I felt like they kind of treated that Illuminati, the Illuminati getting murked out like that. They treated that almost like the 818 didn't count.
Yeah.
Almost like it was.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that wasn't our universe. So I mean,
that's a good point.
You did the right thing. You destroyed all the dark holes. You did the right thing. Kind of glossing over the fact that she just murdered. Yeah, you did take a father away from their kids. You did kill that version of Captain Marvel, which was stupid. Like, you dropped a boulder on her. You dropped a statue on her.
I seen somebody say, "Hey man, we seen Carol Danvers go through cruise ships, go through the what's Thanos ship called?
Destroyed it.
What's this ship called? Start with
I know what you're talking about too.
Sanctuary or something like that. She went through all that, and you could knock this one down with some rocks.
I'm out of here, man. It killed. See, now the more you think about it, the dumber you realize it is. It killed her with a statue.
A statue killed her,
and all Wanda did was start limping.
Hey man, I seen
Thanos. Hit her with the Infinity Gauntlet, not the full Infinity Gauntlet, but
he headbutted her with that shit too. Like, she came back like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't shit. Hey man, I seen Bucky catch the shield, swing that bitch right back to Cap. Cap just caught that motherfucker. He scooted back a little bit. He scooted back a couple steps.
But Carter couldn't get out the way though. Carter couldn't get out the way. She just horror movie shenanigans.
That shit was horror movie shit.
Final Destination, MCU version. You gonna stand there and look at the shield? It wasn't like the shield was zigzagging. It wasn't like she
wasn't doing no
It wasn't
shit.
like she made it disappear and then made it appear at the last minute, and it was like, oh no,
yeah,
she just caught it, spit it back at your dumb ass, and you just
stand there and look. You're right, man.
Black Bolt. You don't have a mouth. You've been trained not to ever whisper at anybody, because if you just try to talk, you try to do small talk or anything, you try to whisper under your breath because you get pissed. Like, man, Richard's a dumbass. You try to do that. You destroy half of the Illuminati. You know what I mean? You kill Professor X if you just
he couldn't even say, huh?
you can't even. You can't even. Did you get ketchup on that?
The echo still getting you. Like, if you don't even get by the first wave, his echoes is getting you.
You got spinach in your teeth. You can't even. You've been trained. You're not an idiot. You don't speak. I'm pretty sure you don't talk to yourself. But the moment you don't have a mouth, you just.
And even his setup, like Reed was like, see, we can get Black Bolt just to say something to
They
you.
fucked up the Illuminati, man.
You're right. That had to have been a thing, like you say.
They destroyed the Illuminati.
They don't even matter. This is trash.
They destroyed the Illuminati, the idea of it though, because
I don't even know how you bring it back, right?
Because Strange treated it like it was a joke. It was almost like he made fun of them for doing that. When it actually my whole thing was, another theory I never brought up was that, or I would have brought up is, okay, or it's not a theory I would have brought up because I kind of came up with the theory midway through the movie. But I'm thinking, okay, well, they're dead, but Strange, whether it's in a post-cred or just later in the movie, Strange is going to be like, you know what? I think we need that here in 616. I'm going to form the Illuminati. Strange is supposed to be a smart guy, but he joked through the whole entire meeting. He make fun of him. And we got a guy over there with a fork on his head, and like he's making fun of him the entire time, almost like he's making fun of him for forming the Illuminati when that's actually a good idea, and it probably would help 616 a lot. So he don't take anything away from that. They just get slaughtered, and he just like, I try to warn him, which he did, but you would think he would walk away from that meeting like, I can
get involved. That's a good idea. We can have.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I can pull together the smartest people on our planet that we got left, and we can I don't have to do all this shit on my own. We can make decisions about, instead of letting the government make Sokovia Accords, we can form the Illuminati and we can make our own accords, whatever. But no, they didn't do that. They just slaughtered the Illuminati, man. And it's like like you said, the Illuminati just dumb. Reed Richards, like, y'all ideas just to take Wanda on head on. Y'all don't have measures in place to get her out of the damn, like, it killed them. They messed up the Illuminati.
Yeah, it led up to that moment, right? It led up to that moment. And then when we got to that moment, I was instantly underwhelmed when the moment presented itself, right? And I think I was instantly salty. I think it was when I saw Agent Carter or Captain Carter. I was like, come on, man, do better. Do better. That would the outfit was like, I think because they did Reed Richards last, right?
Yeah.
And even when so when they showed Carter and it was like, oh, come on, man, she looked better in the damn man. Like that didn't look right. That didn't look right. And then we got
she didn't put on no muscle.
No, nothing.
They look like they got her out of whatever movie she was doing and was just like, I just put on a costume. Like, nah, man, she need to go on an intense workout, man. She need to.
She need to get on with that shit, Jane.
Yeah, whatever Jane doing, man, or at least just CGI the shit on her. Like
nothing.
They didn't do nothing, man. They just slapped like that. That might have been tacked on, man. Like that might have been. She might not have really even been in the movie at first.
I actually got a belief that a lot of those things, some of those things that happened, when they did reshoots and all that, they just were able to secure people that they couldn't secure
like John
earlier,
Krasinski,
right?
Because he just looked like he just dropped in there. He just looks like there's something about him. He just
it didn't fit. It didn't fit.
He wasn't in superhero shape for one, and he just didn't fit. Like he looked goofy, man. I was like,
it did not.
I'm
trying to think of as another kind of like fan want. Like I guess the best it was like the anti Andrew Garfield showing up, right?
Yeah,
it was like the minute it was like, okay, yeah, everybody had the internet had wanted that, and then it happened, and it slapped, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a bunch of Krasinski, and no disrespect to him, but it just didn't. And like I said, it could have been Raimi's fault. It could have been just maybe time, and they didn't put enough into it. It just didn't do. And the shit, like you say, the shit he was saying was just like, come on, man. Reed Richards wouldn't even really talk like that.
Nah, bro.
Reed Richards, like, so why would you take that opportunity to that? Then that's how you present, even if it's a variant. Right.
Yeah.
We didn't even have that word. So what was the whole point of Loki? And you introduced variants when it didn't even make a fucking imprint on this shit. Right. That's a whole nother conversation we're gonna have about MCU TV versus MCU movies, right? And how are they partnering? Should they partner? What are we doing? But it almost seems like with this movie, but back to Reed Richards, it was just like that don't even sound like I can't imagine any Reed Richards sounding like how he sounds. So did y'all get is Raimi? Is this Venom getting forced upon you? Right?
That's what it felt like.
Is this Illuminati getting forced upon you? Or was this the best you and that writer, and it was the Loki writer? Was it the best y'all could do?
Yeah, I was worried about that from the beginning. Like just seeing his interviews, but
I don't understand why they would have like a Loki writer.
Yeah.
And it was a WandaVision part.
Deserve that.
It was a WandaVision. Why you ain't gonna get them?
Right. Like
you get what I'm saying? If WandaVision was if it was basically a continuation of Wanda's story, why wouldn't you have the WandaVision writers? Why would you have the Loki writers who had no impact on this? Yeah, it's just like I can say, man. I walked in. Yeah, of course I had high expectations, and I don't apologize for that, right? But I think I was right to feel that way. Like, like I because honestly, with the MCU, like the movies, you don't really have to worry about the movies, whether it's like different parts about it, like, oh, they didn't really portray this as this isn't comic accurate, or this isn't, what I'm saying? This doesn't look like I would expect this person to look. But you don't have to worry about the movie, right?
Now the movie be
like
dope,
pacing of it, all that. They got their formula, and I felt like there's a couple times they kind of got out their formula and trying to take a couple chances, and it just didn't work for me. Right? We killed the Eternals. I think I could kill this, right? In that same sort of fashion where it was like,
I still got it better than Eternals.
No. Let me
make that clear.
Let's be clear.
Eternals was 2 hours and 30 minutes and accomplished nothing. Okay, this film accomplishes some stuff.
It definitely does. And then there's some nuggets in there that once I get out of my feelings, right? Once I get out of my feelings, there are a couple things in there. What we talked about last time. Hey man, let's just get to the secret wars, man. Just hurry this shit up.
Just hurry up, man.
Let's
get the Battle World. Yep.
Yeah.
Doom.
Things
probably gonna be king, but Doom,
Yeah.
Let's get to it, man.
Nuggets that they put in there. It's coming.
Even
I just think a couple things that they added. I did just even the part about they could have not had Illuminati and used that on other parts of the movie, right? Where there was some of how Wanda got to the point where she was within like 20 seconds, she already had Strange figured out, and especially even Strange said, "Oh, we already got her in Carmitage," and his defense was hold down. His defense was so super down when he went to real quick, how did there was a point where they understood that what they saw was witchcraft, and then they knew to go to Wanda. Like, what was like, oh, that's witchcraft, and who's the best witch we know?
The runes on the body.
Okay,
Okay, that was what gave it away. Yeah, they were like, that's not sorcery, that's witchcraft. You know, the runes.
Yeah,
and they was talking about they asked the girl about the other monster and killed the other strange. She's like, yeah, runes, and that's not.
Yeah, so it was like, I think they could have not had the Illuminati because I think maybe knowing it the second time I go in, like, look, that wasn't the pivotal moment I thought it was going to be, right? So maybe knowing that walking in is like, okay, forget all that don't matter. So let me see it holistically, not including that, and understanding like it's not really it's called multiverse, but they really only went through one. I know they did some other things, but really realistically, they only had that one travel. They really only used that power the one time.
Basically, in terms of like they got to that one universe and was like, that just happened to be the one with the Illuminati with Immortal, and
they made so much about the Book of Ashanti and it didn't matter.
Man, they
get what I'm saying? Like
it was a MacGuffin. Yeah, it was a MacGuffin. Like they get to it, and really, shit, I'll say that about the Darkhold almost. The Darkhold got destroyed, and the Book of Ashanti got destroyed. But yeah, they didn't even get to open it. Like it was just boom, gone. It's like, what was the y'all beat Thanos with this? First of all, why is it so fucking hard to get to? Why is it? It's like it's on this thing, and you got to jump down all these podiums and shit. Why do I got to do this to get to this, man? Like he built a waypoint. How about he built a bridge to the damn book that I can just walk across when I open the door?
Yeah.
Oh no, only he can open it. Well, I don't know, man. It was a lot of
Why would he build something? And realistically, why would he build something that only he can get to, and then make it damn near impossible to get to it? How the fuck was he gonna get back? Yeah. Once he jumped down there, he go like, all right, shit, I use the cloak of levitation.
Yeah,
need them shits.
Better have one.
Because if he forgot that bitch, he's not getting back.
Because what's his name?
All that shit he want to do.
Protector Strange didn't even have a cloak, did he?
He didn't have a cloak.
Protector Strange, that's another one. It's like that didn't look right either to me. I'm so like that, and that was the first sign where I was like, because he looks so damn goofy, man. Like he just looks so out of place.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it was just the costume design, the way the hair looked. He just looked goofy. It was just like, and they running, and it's like, what is this, man? Like, what am I watching? But those post credit scenes kind of disappointing too on my end. Don't get me wrong, Charlize Theron show up. It's like, but you see, but it was all again, man. I was goofy, bro. I'm looking at the costumes, like, who? This not MCU, you know what I mean? But she cut a hole into reality. You see the dark dimension in there, and it's kind of a throwback, callback to the original Doctor Strange movie. And also the Ant-Man movie or whatever. So you see the dark dimension. She's like, you started an incursion. We need to fix it, unless you're scared. And he like,
I jumped up like,
I jumped up, which a pretty good ending. The way that he kind of like in the street, like and the eye come out, only to come back right out and just be like, oh no, the eye right here.
Yeah, like it's just part of his way of life now.
Just skip over an entire like that. That means you know what that means. That means in the next movie, that means nothing. Because we're never going to see how he trained himself to be ready for the eye. He's just going to be using the eye. By the way, this nigga had a lot of new powers.
Yes, he did.
He was doing, bro. He had incantations of like animal, like monster arms and hands. The way he stabbed Shuma Garoff in the eye was like he had this incantation where it's two hands that grab the pole.
Yes.
When did you learn that?
Just even like you say, when he synced the thing, like where all that shit come from, the shit he was doing to Gargantuan, man. Like you say, when he popped that thing in his eye, but the shit he was able to do, where did all that come from?
Where did he learn that? Like, did he? Because they mentioned what Spider-Man like once, right? Which was weird.
And they only said to Spider-Man, like, you got a Spider-Man. He was like, eat spiders or whatever. Her like she thought it was goofy when she heard it. Yeah, and it was like they didn't even. That was one of my theories that was kind of true. I was like, look, man, No Way Home was not gonna play no part in this, right? Like none of that shit. So then it's almost like, was he just a vehicle in No Way Home just because you have to have a spell, right? Yeah. Like you get what I'm saying? Like, is that I know they do a thing where I guess part of their contract with so part of the contract that they do with Sony, right, is that one of ours get to be in one of yours, right? So if we do a Spider-Man movie, like the first one had Tony in there, second one had Nick Fury, third one had Doctor Strange, right? But ultimately, the shit he did in there had nothing to do with this, which is cool, right? But not really. It was such a big deal. It probably should have been. Yeah, but it really wasn't his issues that were the problem with the movie. It was him hopefully finding a way to defeat Wanda. So it wasn't what Strange had. All the shit Strange had probably done to have some kind of impact on timelines of multiverses. No.
Yeah, out of all
trying to get to her kids.
Yeah, and again, out of all the disappointments of the theories that didn't come true, it was that one that really hurt the most. Well, other than Illuminati getting just destroyed, but it was kind of like the fact that it wasn't another Strange that really was compelling, and it really just came down to Sinister Strange. In this music fight they have, and like, damn, man, and then him repossessing his own, him repossessing Protector Strange's body to stop Wanda was like, okay, but yeah, that was disappointing, man, that we really didn't get that Strange that really stuck out.
Yeah, and it's like what they had did with Strange. They had developed Strange, right? So you go from the part where it was with the first Strange, right, to what he had to, what he did, and like who he was in Infinity War. He was that dude in Infinity. He, like you say, he stayed getting dog walked.
Yeah,
but he was pivotal, like, right, and to the point. I guess we should have saw the signs coming, because it was like, he was out of when it got to the point where we got to No Way Home. He was just out of like, what you want, kid? I'll just do the spell, ain't shit.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to send them back, like, so like he went from like, we got to send them back. And then all of a sudden we get to this kind of a movie. Now this is a compassionate. We just saw him No Way Home. He had no compassion.
None.
So now he's full of compassion.
He was ready to send, he was ready to send all the villains back to die.
Yeah.
He understood the gravity.
He knew what needed to happen.
It was like,
So this one he had, but yeah, so I just, like I said, it was definitely a departure from like what they had been building with the game. But yeah, it was just, like I say, hey, I'm gonna watch it again. I don't want to be
I would recommend,
just a negative Nancy about it, but I'm ready for that work. I'm hyped, and then it touched me when it don't do what it do. And the post credit didn't do it. The movie didn't do it. I know I'm gonna watch it a second time. There's gonna be a different point with a different kind of perspective.
Yeah,
there's gonna be different points that I'm able to appreciate, but it still don't underline the fact that what I thought it was gonna do, or what I wanted it to do. Just even from a multiverse, like, dude, we like it would like nothing happened multiversally. I just made up a word. Multiversally, nothing happened. We just had a continuation of a person that was going to do whatever they wanted to do to get kids from one universe
who found another. Another.
They probably was another universe. Like, was this the only universe? And was this the only universe that they was alive?
That's what that confused me though. That confused me. So I'm confused because she got these. She said, and I saw this on second viewing. She said they're alive in every other universe. So it's like, damn. So every other universe made the choice at the end of WandaVision to keep Westview intact, or did every other universe have kids with Vision? Because Vision's not in the picture. He's dead, very dead in every universe. It seems like
he didn't fit the budget for this movie. And why would she wake up in a Westview house? You went back to the house in a place where you enslaved everyone,
right? Yeah, and she did because
she woke up.
Because then where she left Agatha,
let's stop confusing that. Maybe she was in her Sokovia home or that whatever that area was when she it's very real. But that looked like the Westview. Because then she woke up. I got to watch it again. Maybe I'm confusing that part.
No, but
she woke up and she heard noises, but I felt like she woke up and then she realized it wasn't. But maybe she woke up in her little fake home that she had built. But it looked like she woke up in her Westview house. She realized it
somewhere. Yeah,
when she realized it was a dream. Maybe she wanted to have that same kind of image.
But all right, because it's a lot of plot. It's a lot of things that I'm still kind of confused about. And I watched it twice. How were you able to conjure Gargantos and whatever how did she do that? Like, how did she send other beings through the multiverse to chase this girl? How'd she do that?
I don't know. It just
was because like you telling me
like that.
Because what was the plan? Okay, because it's not like when they were right next to the Book of Ashanti when this monster chased them, and the monster's apparently supposed to be coming from Wanda. How did you do that? And because they made it look like when she did that whole thing where she took over the body of her variant, they made that like that was her first time doing that, right? So it's like, how are you able to control beings in the multiverse? Like, how did you send Gargantos to this reality? But you also sent the other monster to Sorcerer Protector Strange's reality. How you do that? Because when he died, that body they jumped through the portal and got the 616. But how did you even do that? I guess you explain it away with the dark hole, but it's like, yeah, they didn't do a good job of really. There's a lot of things that confuse.
She could control that particular that had her, because like ultimately was her plan to because this girl could not control. I guess if she had control, but I guess she was going to have that particular creature bring her to where we at. Bring her to 616. So we're just gonna have a big creature come through because you got to get to the point where you could take her power.
Right.
She has to be able to take the power.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, how was she gonna do that though?
So you're just gonna have her you had her up, like, was you gonna have the being be able to, you that strong where you can make the being
absorb the power, and then you bring the being in and then you absorb it from the being. Man, Wanda, that little book, when she's reading that book at the end of WandaVision, from that time up until this, she must have learned a lot.
And it was also lazy to being like, and that's how it was like on I give them credit. It was like that on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I wanted to hate a lot of that stuff on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now they could have been lazy too, but ultimately it was like you down there had you could see a world, you could see things that you couldn't see before. Like what was my Selvig is teaching me about everything. It's so I can see the future. Whatever his line was. That's kind of how like they had portrayed it. Where it's like
they going off of that. Yeah,
it opened up things that like, but it also made you evil in a way that you would do anything to get that. Even if you had a good outcome that you were trying to get to, you were willing to do anything to make sure that outcome took place. It corrupted you.
Let's give credit where credit's due, and also like you said with that. they stay accurate to that. They stay accurate. Listen, this is pretty accurate to the comic book Wanda.
Yeah.
She does become like this unstoppable villain leading up and going through the House of M and even after that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody hates her, you know what I mean, after the fact. So it's like everybody's going to hate Wanda after this and not trust her and look at her as like this threat. So they, you know, they sticking to it. They right where they need to be in terms of House of M. You can do the House of M right now, but you can't. That is a little. I felt like that was weakening a little bit. This whole it's all about my kids.
Yeah,
that kind of like buckled under the pressure. Like that's your only driving factor. I get it. I know you really love these kids.
Yeah,
I get that you really want your fake kids, but it's like, man, the more they kept drilling that, the more it was like, okay.
It didn't seem strong enough a reason for all the shit that she was doing.
She was doing so much.
And
I guess you explain it away by just saying like, oh, well, it's the Darkhold.
It was the Darkhold that did that.
You see what it did to the Sinister Strange. It does this. This is what it does. It corrupts everything. It destroys everything. Okay, fine, but I felt like they didn't really explain that great. They didn't do a great job of explaining that, and they sort of made it like it was her own decision. Like she really just was like, no, I just want my kids. And, when they and these little kids, boy, they was going over the top, boy. They was just, we want ice cream. I'm like, damn. They drilling this shit home. She really want these kids.
Hey man, they had to they had to film that because I'm sure them dudes probably got mustaches now.
Man,
they must have filmed
12, and I think the other one 14.
Yeah, they had it because they look exactly like they did at the end of the show.
Man, they
must have went right in.
Especially
hey, stand right there.
Yeah. Right. Hey, come here real quick. We're just gonna film this. Yeah, we doing it. Yeah, I know the cameras look better and all like us because this is for the movie. You know what I mean? Yeah, these IMAX cameras. Yeah, they look fresh off the show. So yeah, they must have. Yeah.
Like I say, and I don't. Maybe they just, like I say, they didn't do a good job of like saying, no, this is the Darkhold doing this, right? Excuse me, because Wanda was willing to give up her kids. She gave up everything.
Yeah,
right. Darkhold made her realize, like, oh no, you could do it this way. You don't have to do it that way. You can actually just go pull your kids.
You can go take over another universe.
And how I'm gonna do that is, I need old girl to do that. Yeah. Okay, cool. The Darkhold told me I need to do that, right? I need to. I guess I'm forgetting too. How did they end up knowing that Wanda had been part of the Darkhold? Oh, because she kind of like let it be known. She kind of like did some things, and the Darkhold came, and Strange was like, "Oh, the Darkhold."
Yeah, it was immediately. Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was like,
we all know about the Darkhold. It's nothing that, but y'all don't. You're not as Sorcerer Supreme, and all y'all sorcerers don't really protect that. Like Agatha just had it. Like, you don't think that's something y'all need to go ahead and get?
I know that shit was out there, right? That shit was out there. Like
Agatha had it in the basement. Like
it just had, Agatha wasn't like a big hitter like that. I mean, like she was just a witch surviving, and she had that shit. It's like, yeah, y'all.
The two things that just stick out for me that I need to get over, right, and then maybe reassess it, like from a ranking of a movie standpoint, was the Illuminati and then the piano music note fighting scene. Like I'll never give that back to him. That shit was trash.
That shit was trash, B.
That shit was trash. You got Sinister Strange each other like, and Strange going against each other. The shit he was doing with Thanos. You know what I'm saying? That the shit he was doing with Thanos.
Where he multiple strangers and
that shit he was doing against Thanos. And even the shit that he was doing against Big Gargantuan, he gonna go against Sinister Strange, who done wiped out other strangers, and you gonna defeat him with some music notes?
And even if you were trying to make this into this like beautiful, memorable scene, you didn't have time to. This wasn't the type of movie that again. There was no time to enjoy those subtleties in this movie. There was no subtlety in this movie, right? There was never going to be an opportunity where you could sit back and really take that music scene in. that shit was just thrown in there. You didn't have time to react to how stupid it was. You just like again. I had to like really react to that at the end of the movie. Like, was he throwing notes at you? Like, I'm like looking around. Like, did he throw notes at this?
And it went on for a long time.
You had this movie was at a breakneck speed. You had no chance to really even even if they had made that good, you would have been like, it happened so quick. It's like it's like, oh, okay, they fighting with music. It was like it was no setup for that. It was no foreshadowing or hint earlier in the movie, like, oh, I can use music now. Nah, he just notes. Nah, he like fell on the piano.
Yeah, he hit the piano. He was like,
oh. Like, bro, that's what I'm saying. So this movie wasn't even this 2-hour jam-packed movie. You can't put a scene like that in there. That's some shit you would see. That's some shit if you would do if you got a 2 hour and 30-minute time frame. You can't do that with 2 hours. You can't just. We were never gonna enjoy that scene. We were always gonna look at that like music notes.
Hey man, that shit was true. Hey man, that movie was trash. Hey man, that movie was trash, man. Hey man, they had the nigga Wong hanging off the cliff, and he had the Social Supreme, and he can't do some shit to get up and fly. This nigga hanging off on the.
Hey, he can't even fly.
Hey man, that shit was. He trash,
can't even fly.
That was a trick. Hey man, Wanda was dope. Hey man, that shit was trash.
That shit was trash, Reed.
Hey man, I'm salty, man. I'm gonna see that shit again. I'm saying right now.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I
meant to say that. Let me just make that clear that my thoughts didn't change that much.
I'm salty.
I still walked out the second time and was like my daughter was complete opposite of my wife. My wife was like, she agreed that it was trash.
Yeah.
She's like, 5 out of 10. I was like, 5. My daughter like, that's one of the best ones. I really liked it. I'm like, my thoughts didn't change. I'm like, yeah, I'm being nice. I give it a 6.
Because I was at 5. I was at 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I was at 5, and then I was like, yeah, that's probably a 6. I ain't really changed that much. I was like, yeah, because
I'd like to see somebody else's perspective too, like one more person, wait for one other person to see it.
Because ultimately, it's again when you put Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness on, people will watch it.
Facts.
When you push the little play button on Disney Plus, people will sit down and be like, oh, okay,
it's gonna make some noise.
It's probably gonna slap at home when they finally put it up, but. It's yeah, man. You gotta temper your expectations, and it's too late for that. I mean, because like you said, we rightfully so had high expectations. This felt like not an in-game level, but this felt like a waypoint to get into the end game. This felt like a Civil War level anticipation level movie, and it's kind of a mess,
It's but it was at a point with some of the things that have happened over the last year where it was like like, oh man, you have expectation, but no, all points had led to this kind of movie.
Yeah,
it was in all points. I mean, they've delved even just in the Disney Plus shows. I mean, and at least 2 of them they delved into
that's
the
true.
multiverse.
Yeah. Right. That word is being used a lot.
So it's not we was there. We saw different visions. We saw Captain Carter. We saw Zombie Strange and Wanda. There were things that happened. There was things in Loki. We saw the end. We saw Kang. Like, wait till you.
And then we saw Spider-Man.
We saw Spider-Man. So yeah, we saw
pull characters from a different universe.
So it's not wrong to walk in there and being like, so if we doing like, because I think the one thing I want to do is go back is more into the quality of the movie, right? And take it out like they didn't do multiverse stuff. Maybe somebody could school me and say they did. I'm saying no, especially Multiverse of Madness stuff. It's one thing if we just went to it. I seen Arrow and them where they just go to one other universe, right? And they go pull Supergirl or somebody like that. Like they had multiverse, but they just want to only go 1 or 2, right? Which is cool, right? Okay, I'm cool with that one. But this was called Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
And you only really traveled through it the one time. So what made it to the point, okay, old girl can't control her powers, and so that is that. Oh, well, you only did it once, right? And then why would it be that? And maybe it's in the comic, and I don't know this. Why would she die if she don't have her power? Like you kind of set that line.
Yeah, I think it was inside the fact taking her power, like draining her, she wouldn't survive the process. She's too young. Yeah, like draining her of her power would kill her. But
that makes sense. And I feel like that wasn't explained because it was like, okay, I've seen people lose powers and they just don't have their power. Yeah. If like I seen Black Panther drink the stuff and they took it out of him so he can go to the celestial plane and then come back. Like he got to lose the stuff so he can go ahead and fighting that combative battle to make sure who's gonna be the king. There's different things where they've shown that. So, and maybe that's a known thing about her power. I say all that to say this, like it was
trash.
Yeah, it was just trash. Like it was like almost like if I'm gonna keep it a buck. It was almost like if Netflix did a Doctor Strange movie.
Facts.
It was like one of those. Like if
Facts.
Netflix had
did
Doctor Strange
movie. You know what's crazy? You're absolutely right. I thought that too. I was like, this kind of seemed like this 2-hour shit, man. Like it just seemed very compact, and I would expect this from DC to do something like this. Is what I'm saying. I would expect the DC to make a movie like this, where it's so like the shit, man. When she climbed through the reflection and she like that's some DC shit. You know what I mean? I'm like,
when she went through the water and her body had to do all that shit.
Yeah, she like popping it like.
I'm like salty, man. I can't even act like I was hyped on that part, man. I was like, what the fuck, man? Is she zombie now? What is she doing? Is her bones got to do all that shit just to get through?
Again, they don't do a great job of explaining that. Was that the Darkhold that allowed her to do that? Because if you telling me that's just Wanda, that don't make any damn sense. That don't make any sense. Wanda, what's this link? Can Wanda right? Like since Wanda contort her body and like she like it's an exorcism or something. Like she got a demon in her. That's not what Wanda power is.
Yeah,
Wanda can't do that to her body and all that stuff though. So it's like, is that the Darkhold? But they don't do a good job explaining that. So because the movie going so damn fast, man. The movie's moving. Movie doing a fucking 130 miles in a 35. Like,
yeah,
cutting corners. It's like, man, that movie. Hey, man, that shit was trash, bro.
Yeah,
I walked out of there tonight. Like, I was trying to be like, I was being positive for my daughter. I was like letting her have her moment. Like, yeah. I see what you're saying, and she did make some good points. Like, I thought this was actually one of the better Marvel movies. I'm like, yeah, maybe. But I'm like, visually, I'm like, yeah, visually, I like some of the visuals, but man, if you comparing this to other movies, man, it's not, it ain't it, bro. It's very disappointing. That Illuminati scene, second time around, wasn't any less disappointing.
Yeah, that was.
It's like, man, they pop Reed Richards like a balloon, man.
That was such a waste of my time.
Like,
that was boner-esque, man. Pause for me.
Yeah, man.
It was boner-esque. Like it led up to that. So, and I like to hear that. Like you say, Dorda had good points. I like to hear that. Like, hey, what did you? Because I don't even think my expectations would let me down. Right? You go in and you have it's fun to have that shit. Like, hey, man, I made a compelling case. Hey, Shang-Chi showing up, man. Like, I like that.
I was sold on that shit. I was like, yeah. Saw the little yak dude and shit. I'm thinking like, man, that looked like some Shang-Chi type stuff because, but nah, man.
I'm cool if he don't.
Yeah.
Oh, but because then you can watch the movie and be like, yeah, I see why he didn't because that don't fit. They like you say, whatever reason that such and such might not have did this, or even people that's in their circle, right? But you set up a compelling thing about Mortal in one and in the first one, and you totally trashed that for Wanda.
Yeah.
You could have had a Wanda movie. You get what I'm saying? Like They could have had either season 2 of WandaVision or a Wanda movie, but you set up this whole thing, so we're just not gonna ever cash that check, or he just gonna be some kind of hinted villain as they go through. Oh, we're gonna have Charlize Theron, and we gonna go into their whole story because they gonna probably eventually hook up like they probably should, based on their story. So we just gonna not cash that check.
It's like, man, you wasn't selling me on no Christine, bro. Get Christine. Man, come on, bro. You ain't really like Christine like that, man. You barely paid attention to her in the first movie. Like, what are you talking about? I love you in every universe. Did you though?
No.
Did you love her in your own universe? Because it seemed like you did, man. But
there was never a connection like that.
No,
it didn't need to be sold in here. Y'all don't have that.
Y'all ain't have like Jane and Thor. I could see.
Yeah,
Thor. Yeah, they was together. You know, I could see him saying some shit like that. Man, he wasn't doing that. Man, Steve wasn't doing that with Christine, man.
Thor's ready to risk it all.
Hey, Thor was ready to give up everything.
Hey, man, he's about to
risk hanging
all
of and shit. He hanging out on Midgard, man. You know, all hours of the night, man. You know, got his parents looking at the clock like,
hey man, old in the old sleep, like he just laid out like, hey man, who protected now?
How long you want Mjolnir out, man?
Hey man, what he say? She don't belong here no more than a goat needs to be at a banquet table. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, leave her alone. Nah, he was going to risk it all for
He's
you.
gonna risk it all. He would have gave it all up, bro.
It's believable.
Yeah,
it was never believable.
There's a case being built there.
It's never believable in this story. He didn't even end the first movie going back to her, right? You get what I'm saying? Like, he didn't end the first movie going back to her. He went and got his watch. He looked up at the thing, just waiting for Thanos to show up. Like the movie was over. She popped him back, and the movie was over.
Yeah.
So for him to be in the, like you say, to be in the how they started, it was a dope how they got into the fight, but like it never. Oh yeah, I always felt no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
You didn't get the girl. Come on, man. Like I'm Doctor Strange. I can pull anything. So you like you didn't burn me with that line, but they made it seem like it was a burn. Yeah, so I didn't believe that. I didn't believe that relationship thing because he never really liked her. Like not enough.
Not like that.
He probably knew, but it was more important thing. She was like low on the list.
That was his friend. But
he friend zoned her, didn't he?
He friend zoned her, man. He
friend zoned her. Man.
Christine, she all right.
Yeah, she cool.
She decent.
She cool.
But he wasn't like chasing out there like that in the first movie to the point where he say some shit like I loved you in every universe. But going back, even the Mordo thing was weird to me because he's like, again, the exposition, he's like, oh yeah, Mordo, he was the guy, in my universe, he was a good wizard, but now he's dedicating his life to killing me. And it's like, when did we see that? I know he had that whole world without magic or whatever. He was going around draining wizards or killing them or whatever.
Sorcerers and all that.
Sorcerers, yeah. But it's like nothing about the end of that movie says that he wants to kill you. He gave your ass a warning and walked away from you.
Like you gonna get what you got coming. It ain't like it was coming from me.
He told the truth. Yeah, he predicted the future. Like, nah, man. He's like, the bill comes due. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be in trouble off this, bro. Like, you doing damage out here. You're gonna have to pay for that, which he eventually does. But it's like, well, sort of, but what this whole thing with him basically explain, like they kind of cheated Mordo a little bit. I felt like,
hella cheated him.
It was kind of up in the air whether or not he was gonna be this guy that was gonna always try to kill Steve. He really wasn't a villain.
No,
he wasn't a villain. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything worthy of a villain at the end of Doctor Strange. Like there was no indication that he was necessarily a villain. He just disagreed. He like vehemently disagreed, and he was also disillusioned about the ancient one, because finding out she was a phony.
Yeah,
he was obviously a jaded sorcerer, right? Yeah, and he was like, he was like, giving Strange all these warnings. But it was nothing that really, they didn't earn that he's the villain. He's your new villain. He's your arch nemesis now. And I felt like they kind of just, that little line he threw in there was a little throwaway line, but it was just like some bullshit. Like, Yeah, he basically said he's my arch nemesis. You know, he wants to kill me. He dedicated his life to killing me. How you know?
Where's this at?
We don't know that.
Where's his proof?
Yeah, where's the proof? We don't see it
happening. What are you doing on a daily basis? Is he showing up to what's going on? You got this mortal threat.
Right. Exactly. It's nowhere on screen. It's not in What If. It's not
nowhere.
It's not in WandaVision.
It's never happened.
It never happened. So how are you using that? So they kind of cheated him, man.
You set up a movie.
It's kind of weak.
You set up a movie. You set up a movie from the previous movie, and then even up to his actions, up to freaking No Way Home, that strange consequences, strange stuff. He was going to face the consequences. Even some of the trailer lines. The biggest threat to the multiverse is you. Mind you, you only ever but you see the movie, you realize they've only ever met one Strange, and they murked him. So how much of a threat was he?
Yeah.
When you went on ahead and Thunderbolt. What's my guy? He let him use the voice.
Yeah,
he blackbolted him like,
I'm sorry.
And, sorry. And this shit explained. He got dusted off. It was like, so you set up a marketing. You set up all the movies and marketing that was supposed to lead up to Strange. In my opinion, Strange having to face the things that he's done. It really wasn't that. It was just Wanda. He had nothing
just
to
Wanda.
do with
Yeah,
Wanda.
exactly.
Unless you want to just say like, well, you didn't stop that, but literally it was just Wanda. Like literally Wanda. Nothing he had ever done before had any impact on this movie.
No bearing. None.
No, nothing. Like even when we watched
was he gonna end up there no matter what? Would he have ended up in this situation no matter what?
I mean, they almost made a movie where another one of those where the hero actually didn't matter. Whether he was in it or not, it really didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter about. Yeah,
he didn't beat her with the Darkhold. He got a third eye with the Darkhold, but he didn't beat her because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Old girl busted thing. She finally could. I can harness my. And she got a mirror, and Wanda got a mirror image. Scarlet Witch got an image of herself. But you almost had a movie. That's what I thought. I wish I'd have wrote that note down, but I had that in my like, damn, they never made a movie where actually the title character, whether he was in it or not, I can make a case that it wouldn't have mattered. We was always gonna get
a case
to that
can be
point.
made. A case can be made because
except for his speech at the end. Right, there was almost damn near Wonder. Yeah. I saw somebody say so. It's not mine, but it's damn near Wonder Woman 84-esque. Like he made an emotional pitch to make the girl be able to use the power to be able to.
That movie is so trash.
You get what I'm saying?
God,
like the end of that was his contribution to go through a dead character to give an impassionate speech. I can't defeat her, but you got to look within yourself, kind of deal. And then old girl can be able to punch through a multiverse that she could do it on purpose now. That's what that was Strange's whole purpose. Nothing he did would help him out. He didn't matter.
Man, that's a good
now I'm gonna see it again. Damn, I'm gonna see it again. And maybe as I sat there in that movie and I had that in my mind.
It ain't gonna change, bro. I'm telling you right now. You can see it.
Not matter in the
you can watch it again. It's not gonna change, bro. You're gonna have the same. You're gonna walk out pretty much the same. Yeah, but think about it. You're right, man. That's
I could be wrong. I might be passionate and extra right now. I just felt like that. Like he didn't matter.
You might have a point though.
They went through those multiverses. It took them to Earth. It wasn't because I think they said we were 616. They were 818, right?
Yeah.
That trash Illuminati universe.
Trash.
They would have got there anyway.
That's what it's called now. Trash Illuminati.
Yeah, trash Illuminati. They would have got there anyway. Even old girl would have got there anyway because she was gonna punch because she was scared. Because she could only use that power. It wasn't because she was with Strange and they got there. Now that moved the story along so we can get to the Illuminati. But without him, she was gonna get there anyway because she was scared and she would have and got away.
Yeah. Literally,
right? She was going to eventually get caught, but like you get what I'm saying? Like she was going to get away because she could get there. Her fear was what triggered. They let us know that it's her fear that makes her pop through when she's scared. She pops through the multiverse. Right.
And even when she jumps off of the damn throne or whatever and punches Wanda, does Strange have anything to do with that?
He gave her the speech.
What did he say to her? He was like,
"You got something about the." You have the power. You can control it. One of them kind of speeches.
Damn.
It was like I say, it was Wonder Woman-esque.
I missed that. Damn.
Like that's how he won was that
because he was already defeated. He was on the ground.
He was done.
He was incapacitated.
They did that whole
on both ends.
Doing all the stuff where he got the little zombies coming out. He got the Dawn of the Dead. He controlling them.
Yeah,
and it didn't matter. Wanda was smacking that shit around.
That's the thing. Wanda was too like I really like Wanda and I really like the performance. Everything about her, man. The way she looked, everything was good with her. But she was too damn powerful.
You can't make her that powerful and don't have nobody else show up, bro.
And don't have nobody else show up because it was like you almost didn't want anybody else to show up because you're like, man, Wanda just gonna destroy him.
Yeah.
You don't want them to show up because you like, I got to a point where I'm like, I don't want nobody to show up because I don't want them to die. Yeah. She killed everybody that got in her path. Like she destroyed. She just was playing with Wong. Like you pretty much my slave at this point. You know, this dude the Sorcerer Supreme. So it's like
the
strange runner. He the worst. He the worst.
Yeah, he couldn't do nothing, man.
Even Mordo was like, Mordo was like, I believed in Mordo's Sorcerer Supreme more than I did Wong's because Mordo was like, oh no, I'm drugging you, bro. You coming to the lab. You know, we see what you're about.
Yeah.
Wong would have just been like, we're friends, you know.
Hey, and then and that was one thing about the Illuminati was like, what it was there wasn't enough people for all those chairs. They had 6 chairs and they only had like 4 people.
It seemed like it was a lot of chairs. But
more chairs than people.
But just the fact that Wanda can just fly from her house and find the Illuminati, and y'all got the Ultron bots was trash. Was it me or was the Ultron bots worse than the ones that Ultron had? And
they was worse than the Iron Legion that Tony had.
Like, yeah, because the Iron Legion could like move around and catch stuff. These robots, these Ultron bots, stop.
It was like droids. It was like I'm watching Rebels. Yeah. It was like those droids that they have. You know, the ones that's really non-threatening.
Stop there.
I went through a rock. Let me go over here. It was like that level. You know what I'm saying?
She just like
surveyed the area.
She's just destroying them. You know, I'm like, that's nothing. Like, what are the Ultron? All right, man. It just seemed, man.
And it was just the Baxter building too. I got hyped when they said it and when they dropped that little line back. Yeah. But it was literally just the Illuminati was just in the building. Like it wasn't like when you watch the trailers, it's like they got to be in an area outside of time and space.
Nah, they wasn't. Bro. They just an 818.
They was just downtown. 818 was an area code, B. They was just downtown in the building, man. You get what I'm saying?
Anybody could have just walked in.
It's got access cards, man, to get into the.
Niggas getting pieces delivered to that place.
They got Uber Eats.
Somebody. Hey, just leave it at the door. Just leave it at the door. Just leave. No. Okay, you're coming in. You're coming in. Okay, all right. Let me buzz you in. All right. Yeah. Put the chili right there, please. Thank you. Leave the crackers. Thank you.
That was so terrible. It was nothing, man. It wasn't out. It was just a building. It was the Baxter building for 818. It was the Baxter building.
You got the smartest and most powerful heroes in the building, in a just out in the open like that.
I mean, the Avengers Tower and Stark Tower was better than that.
The more you think about it, the worse it get. Because it's like, first of all, Professor X would have deaded everything. Like, look, boom, I'm reading your mind.
Could they not have wasted that shit more than when he was in the mind?
Oh my God, bro. That too. But this just when Strange showing up and he's trying to convince him, he like, hey, I need this. Hey man, she on the way. I really need the Book of Ashanti. I come on. Professor X would have came in there and flexed like, yeah, he telling the truth. I read his mind. I saw his memories. I saw everything. We all in danger. let's go ahead and get out of here right now.
This is
yeah.
But then they try to make it seem like, I believe. Let's see what kind of a strange he is. I believe
you don't need. That's not Professor X. He don't. That's a line he got in Legion, because he's Legion is his son in the show. There's a line, and he eventually pop up. No, spoiler, sorry. He eventually pop up at the end, but he got a line like basically like, man, we don't go on hunches. We don't go off our gut. We telepaths. We don't go off our gut. I'm reading your mind. If you're lying to me, I'm going to know. So it wouldn't be any. That's not a Professor X moment where he'll be like, let's see, just leave it up to chance. No, Professor X don't work like that.
No,
I'm reading. I see what's in your mind. You telling the truth. We're in danger. You come from a world that's in danger. Okay, all right. Let's proceed. The more I think about it, bro.
Yeah,
the worse is getting.
And they're gonna try to sell it to me one day. Well, like they're gonna they want to talk about something they're gonna retcon.
What's that?
They gonna retcon this Illuminati shit, man.
Yeah,
that wasn't
shit.
Yeah, that wasn't real.
Nah, that wasn't the Illuminati. That was more of a post. That was a post.
They might not ever even bring it
strange
back.
Illuminati.
And that's the shitty part. They might not. It's
they might not ever touch on it again.
Back. That was it.
I don't think the writer had any understanding of anything he used in that movie. Can we? I mean, can you? Unless you seen something I didn't.
No,
I don't think the writer had any understanding of who Shuma Gorath was. Shuma Gorath is like, he can have his own movie, and you made it like Wanda could just like conjure him up and just control him. He's an elder god. He'll probably kill Wanda if he can just Not only can he kill Wanda, he can destroy the earth.
Yes,
he can grow beyond the earth, like celestial size. Like he can those tentacles, he can cover up the entire earth with that and crush it if he wanted to, but he don't. He want to feast on the earth. So that's one thing. The Book of Ashanti, pretty sure that's a big deal in the comics. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm some expert on that. This idea that that the dark hole can just be destroyed.
Everyone.
That didn't sound right.
Right. Is that why some of the CGI? Because even with this one, like it was cinematic, but it was still a couple CGI moments where it was like,
I put that's in my notes. I put that in my notes. CGI is a little hit or miss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like this is what y'all do, Marvel. Y'all like CGI gods. It's like, you get what I'm saying?
This one,
like niggas not even holding, like they don't even have the string and the bow and arrow. Like Hawkeye doing all that shit. He doing all that shit. There's no strings in his bow and arrow. He only doing all that. He don't got none of that. Like niggas like walking around when they got capes, but like they ain't even got capes on their body. Like CGI, like that's what they do.
Yeah, man.
So the last couple of efforts with they CGI has not really been that good.
When they went into the quantum realm, right? All that was CGI. The suits and all that.
Even the suits was CGI.
Yeah. So it's like y'all couldn't.
It's like the Strange.
It was inconsistent, man.
You need like the first one was damn art. It was a work of art.
Yeah.
It was
that first Doctor Strange movie. Yeah, that was they had some good CGI.
So like with this one, it was like a couple moments that I was just like, that don't.
Especially the opening scene with Gargantos.
Yeah.
I was looking at that like, put that in the notes. Like
I can tell that they running from nothing.
Yeah. And when they get picked up, they like, it's
it just didn't
look that great. Man.
I'm not even about to
look that great, man.
As I sit here today, I got it on Tridash.
Like, again, man, this is a movie that could benefit greatly from a director's cut, which I don't think the MCU does.
Like they already talking that talk because
are they?
Suddenly Raimi was like, "Oh yeah, it was 40 more minutes." So niggas like,
there we go. We need
the Raimi.
No, we need them. Please release the Raimi cut. They're not going to. Yeah,
already.
Why he don't do that? Minutes. Like I've never seen the director's cut for any MCU movie. There's no Civil War director's cut. There's none of that. There's no director's cuts for these MCU movies. This movie would benefit the most from it. I feel like
I was already a handle. Release the Raimi cut.